Well, today we've found a little oasis in a semi-urban environment. And if you're into your winter fishing, the chances are you're going to end up in the same kind of place that we have today, because what's brought us here are the gravel pits.
Well, this is a time of year when Matt and I like to do a bit of dead baiting on these gravel pits. And we like to keep it quite simple, really. This is a simple float rig that most people tend to use nowadays. The only thing that I would say is different to most people I see is that I'm using a braided main line, and there's a lot of advantages to that.
Well, this is the stuff that we're going to be putting through its paces. It's Berkeley Whiplash 8. But the first thing that strikes me about Whiplash 8 is the diameter. It's so fine. This is actually 46 pounds breaking strain braid, or 20.8 kilograms if you prefer the modern side. But it's 0.16 diameter. That's like a match fishing hook link.
So I'm just going to put on a dead bait, in this case a sardine, and I'm going to do what we always do, and that's cast in, leave it 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just twitch it around a bit, and then move to another swim.
Even a raw wind didn't dampen our early enthusiasm, though we both knew that plummeting temperatures and a biting easterly would make the pike in the lake sulky. As the day wore on, and with several promising swims yielding nothing, we knew our chances of catching were getting slimmer. But one of the advantages of fishing with a mate is that a good chat usually refreshes your thirst for the challenge.
Is that if we keep working around that bank, we'll end up over there on that nice point towards the end. I think that's a good strategy.
Yeah, well, we're fishing into the wind, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, I reckon it is.
Shall we get round there?
I think we should have a cup of tea first, personally.
So you do have some good ideas, don't you?
I do, yeah, occasionally. Yeah.
Come on, let's get the kettle on before we move then.
Well, I don't know about let's, that implies us.
Well,
it's actually your turn.
Well, sometimes you have to make the tea, you know.
As the afternoon rolled by and we made our way over to the point, the swim that we had all of our hopes now pinned on, bright sunshine had been replaced by gathering clouds. We both like points. They're obvious places to ambush patrolling pike, and so it came as no surprise when, as the last light of the day began to seep away, my float slipped under the gently lapping waves to announce a take with barely a ripple. Heart pounding, I set the hooks and was relieved to feel a heavy answering thud down the braided line. No jackpot this, it's a proper one. It was a good fight, and one that saw the fish breach the surface before going on a long run in an attempt to get round the point. To my relief, steady pressure paid off, though there were a few anxious moments. Having caught countless numbers of huge pike, the Duke made a fine gilly, I must say, scooping our prize with immaculate timing. Cue the celebrations. After settling the pike onto the unhooking mat, we began the job of unhooking it. Mick placed his knees either side of the pike and lifted its head, while I worked away with the forceps to free the trebles. The leeches on the pike's head were an indication that the cold weather had made the fish sulky and lethargic. Our mobile tactics had worked. We'd eventually dropped the bait right onto a fish's nose. There's no better feeling than slipping back a good fish on a challenging day. The numbness of freezing fingers forgotten, and the chance to share it with your fishing mate makes it even better.